Hey family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, keep that on your side of the street, okay? It won't be acknowledged. Cool family, so let's get into it. So I'm being guided today to get into the topic around boundaries and self-love. What do you have to say about this today, Phie? Let's get into it. So, okay, let me start with myself. So, part of this journey with, healing and letting go and awakening that I've been on, along the way, I'm faced with lessons and certain internal experiences that Spirit puts up, to me in my face and has me hyper aware of over certain things and asks me, okay, well, Phie, how are you gonna deal with this? What is the old way of dealing with this? What was your old natural reaction or response to dealing with things like this? How can you deal with this differently? That is, that is dealt with in a way that is most beneficial to you and displays not to the world but to yourself a certain level of self-love that allows you to heal and find balance and put yourself into a position that allows you to move forward and shed the things that no longer serve you. I've been put into many situations where I've had to, be real with myself and recognize, okay, well, I need to put a boundary up here. Not just because I'm angry, not just because I've been hurt or betrayed, but because I recognize that this cycle, this person, certain things that have happened time and time again with a certain individual or an energy in my life that might show up in different people. I've had a tendency of putting up a boundary when I was angry, when I was hurt, when I was feeling betrayed. And, some time would pass and then the anger subsides and somehow, the energetic request of another person that comes or a simple engagement or, with a person, or when I say energy, I'm referring to a specific experience of energetic signature that may show up, as a pattern in a group of people, and they don't have to be connected or knowing each other, but our lessons and the energies we need to let go of have a tendency of showing up as a frequency, in the kinds of people you surround yourself with, depending on what kind of vibrational level you're on, which means that you're connecting with a certain vibration and frequency of people, energy, that can bring up certain things in your life that, reflect to you the lessons that you need to learn and where you need to maybe, bring a change in, find a higher perspective, let certain things go, put up a boundary towards so that you can create a new energy and, let that fall away through having an energetic boundary up to something that hasn't been good for you, but maybe because of your programming, maybe because of your lack of, understanding of your own personal, your own energy, and having a lack of energetic boundary and understanding where your energy ends and where someone else's begins within your own experience and the communication of that between you and someone else. When we put up a boundary, we put a boundary up as a reaction and not from the perspective of, okay, well, I know that this hasn't been good for me. I know this isn't good for me. I know this person isn't good for me. this situation has hurt me, has been bad for me, has caused me trauma on some level. So it is necessary for me to have a boundary. And I need to be able to have enough self-love for myself to keep a boundary up without the need for the presence of anger, of hurt, of resentment. I hope I'm hitting home. A lot of the time, we need the anger, we need the hurt, we need the resentment to be present. We hold on to that so that we're able to maintain a boundary. When really, the reason for our boundary should be self-love, should be an elevation and understanding, should be a, what's the word I want to use? Should be a feeling of wanting to let something go that doesn't serve you. It shouldn't be, your boundary should not be the reaction to anger, hurt, pain, or an experience. Your boundary should be inner focused, should be, focused towards your growth, focused towards your peace, focused towards your sanity, focused towards your balance in your life, focused around your understanding that maybe a certain energy or a person is a source of imbalance in your life, is a source of distraction, is a source of you having to take your energy, your focus, your mind space, your thought time to something that is of a lower vibrational nature. So when you look back at your life and you think about the people you've had cycles with, the people who have done you wrong, the people who maybe you still have lingering in your space and your energy, that at one point in time you put a boundary up towards for a specific thing or a specific reason that, happened out of anger, and maybe eventually the person said, I'm sorry. Maybe eventually, you found yourself back in their space again because, the moment you put up a boundary, naturally, whether it's guilt or whether it's a cycle, whether it's codependency, whatever it may be, there's an energetic request that comes from the individual that you've put a boundary up towards that then plays on your energy and calls you back into their space, resulting in another cycle happening. And the cycles will keep happening until you decide to have the reason for your boundary be based off of self-love and an elevation in perspective. Bo, sorry. Bo. I threw the lip gloss to the floor, which made him stop. So I hope that what I'm saying is making sense. If someone has caused you trauma, if someone keeps pulling you into a cycle that puts you into a state of disarray, that brings you confusion, if someone keeps pulling you back into a relationship that is confusing, into a relationship that has no proper understanding of where you stand with the person, however, you've just developed some sort of cycle with them coming in and leaving your life, and they keep on being the person that has to always say sorry, and you are the person who has to always forgive. Forgiveness doesn't always mean that you need to have somebody back in your space. And putting up a boundary as a result of understanding and self-love allows for a new energy between the two of you to begin. And especially for yourself, to get to a point of, being at peace with it and not feeling the need to engage anymore. But then we have our other issues, right? there's our lack programming, there's the loneliness that we're, you know, there's the wanting to be liked, there's the, you know, being afraid of how we make other people feel. Even if we make a decision that's for our highest good, we're programmed to still worry about how the next person, regardless of whether or how they've made us feel, we worry about how our decision for our own self-love and putting up a boundary as a result of that is going to make them feel. Instead of asking ourselves, instead of wondering, okay, am I worried? Am I feeling some kind of way right now? Am I feeling bad right now because I'm worrying about how my decision has made the next person feel? Or am I going to exercise self-love right now? This is why this is why we have to slow down in life and think about everything that we do before we do it. Or am I going to exercise self-love right now and, you know, look at the situation from a higher perspective? Has this person really evolved? Or have they just, you know, done what was needed for the moment to calm the waters between me and them? Or to have a energetic or a connection back around, or have, you know, have us back in each other's presence? Has this person, you know, shown true reflection and concern over what they've done? Or was the sorry that I received, or the behavior that is, you know, that has just shown not exactly a lack of understanding? Because many a times people somehow just wait for a bit of time to pass for your anger to subside, which is, you know, because others do recognize, especially narcissists, they recognize that your boundary is up because you're having a temporary reaction to the way you've been unsettled or hurt. But once that subsides and they're back in a position where they can sort of just slide themselves back into your life, and their energy of non-acknowledgement takes over your energy of needing to have a boundary because you've softened, and before you know it, you're back in a cycle. Something or someone that is bad for you is back in your life. So how are you exercise how do you exercise your forgiveness? Can you be strong enough to always put yourself first in a situation where you know somebody has already crossed the line, has hurt you, or maybe take even a higher perspective, a higher perspective to it, and ask yourself: is the Most High, is Allah, is God, Jesus, Spirit, have they maybe created this scenario so that I can recognize that this needs to leave my life, so that some other form of blessing, even if my blessing is peace, even if my blessing is balance, even if my blessing is another individual who's of a higher vibration and not going to hurt me or treat me in a way that, you know, has me having to go into a space of temporary reaction to put up a boundary. It's the neighbors. Where am I being resistant to the change? And where am I needing to take accountability for the cycles I always find myself in, for the hurt and the situations I find myself experiencing over and over and over with certain people, certain energies? Do I have to put a boundary up just to one person, or is there a frequency of energy within different kinds of people that display the same kind of energy that maybe I need to take a step back, slow down, and put up a boundary towards, for my own peace, my own elevation? It's really something to think about, right? A boundary is also a form of protection. Other than self-love, it's a form of protection. It's an ability we've been given by the Most High to exercise so that we can move energies out of our lives that are not conducive to us moving forward, or where the divine, or where the higher energies, or where our lives maybe want to elevate to. Our boundaries are not there to teach somebody else a lesson. Their lessons are between them and God, Spirit, Allah, Most High. You're not here to teach anybody a lesson, but you are here to elevate. You are here to learn. And you are here to learn your lessons through the people that God, Allah, and Spirit, or whoever are using as tools to help you move into space of elevation. But if you allow your programming and your lack and your fear of being alone, fear of being disliked, fear of being rejected, or whatever it might be, overpower all those things that display to the universe, I have a focus on my self-love and my own elevation, you're going to be in the same places. You're going to be in the same situations. You're going to have the same experiences. You're not going to be able to open your mind and your perspective up to something else and something different if you're not willing to let the old stuff and people and baggage go. So, the next time you decide to put up a boundary with somebody, be a little cognizant, be aware of yourself and your feelings, and recognize if you're just displaying a reaction, or if you're putting up a boundary that is based off of anger, hurt, resentment, emotions, because that means your boundary is not a solid one. That means your boundary is not based off of something else that'll motivate you to keep a boundary in place, and that displays that you've actually taken a real look at the kind of individual you're dealing with, and recognizing or deciding or making a higher decision that says, I don't think I want you and your energy in my life, and I'm okay with you feeling a type of way about it for some time. You'll get over it, and I will too. So, yeah. Once you drop the boundary, it's no longer the other person's fault. Your pain is on you. Your pain is on you. And you need to show up for yourself, right? No one else is on the outside is going to change. I've said this before. No one on the outside is going to change to make your life experience better. They're going to be who they are. They're only going to change when they recognize a higher perspective, and through their own experiences are able to recognize the error in their ways. It's not for you to change, but it is for you. What you can do is exercise putting up a boundary, forgiving, and allowing the energy to settle, to get to a point where you no longer feel like you need to engage an individual anymore. Let the energetic cords go. Anyway, family, I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna pull a card from the Ascended Masters again, Dorian Virtue, right? And let's see what the spirits have to say. And the Ascended Masters, or to give anyone a nudge in the right direction, and what came out is clear and shield your energy. I think that is wonderful. That is perfect. It aligns with our conversation perfectly. And the Ascended Master giving us the message is El Moria, right? Boundaries, I told you, are a form of protection. They're a way for you to clear out your energy and to shield your energy. And anybody who has a problem with that, clearly has an issue with boundaries, respecting their own and respecting others, right? Anybody who isn't able to, you know, engage in a bit of self-reflection and, you know, recognize their ways, and uh, by causing somebody else to have to put up boundaries towards them, is clearly somebody who is still very unconscious and unaware, and, you know, has some growing up and maturing, and some understanding of other people's boundaries to do, and respecting of other people's boundaries, learning how to do that, right? Anyway, let me see what the book has to say. Clear and shield your energy. I found it. Okay. As a sensitive person, you've absorbed some harsh and toxic energy from other people. This card asks you to stop and call on El Moria and Archangel Michael to clear yourself. They can also clear and elevate the energies in other people, your home, or your office. After clearing yourself, ask them to shield you from further intrusions. This process, called shielding, needs to be conducted once or twice a day. You can also wear a crystal pendant to act as a buffer in harsh energy situations. Additional meanings to this card. Ask Archangel Michael to cut cords of fearful attachments between you and other people or possessions. That's a nice tip for this reading, for this conversation. Stay clear of harsh or toxic substances, environments, and relationships. Honor your sensitivity. Keep your thoughts as positive as possible to keep your energy clear and clean. Eliminate clutter or use feng shui to clear the energy in your home or office. So I do think that the main point of advice of this card for us with this, I don't want to keep saying reading, for this conversation is ask Archangel Michael to cut cords of fearful attachments between you and other people or possessions. Yes. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. And family, if this has resonated with you, if you've come this far and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so on your way out. Share it with whoever else might, could possibly benefit from the conversation, or maybe get a different perspective to something. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.